So, Old Joliet Prison, Illinois.
Here we are, back at another prison.
TAPS is headed to Joliet, Illinois to investigate Old Joliet Prison, which housed notorious criminals in barbaric living conditions for almost a century and a half.
It was built in 1858 and it closed in like 2002?
Yeah, Lester Babyface Nelson, John Wayne Gacy was here.
Yeah.
And people were tortured here. A lot of prisoners were tortured.
The place did do executions.
Now, the executive director of the prison, he's noticed an uptick in threatening paranormal activity.
Visitors and the volunteers who worked there.
Yeah, and he's afraid for their safety.
Somebody felt somebody grabbing their leg.
To actually be touched, first of all, and then grabbed, definitely need to check that out.
Right.
They're dealing with this like 7-foot-tall entity that they claim to see. It just goes on and on.
Wow.
Oh, here's the prison. Check this out, man.
Oh my gosh.
Look at that. That is huge.
It just keeps going and going.
TAPS case, Old Joliet Prison, Joliet, Illinois.
Hey, Greg. Thanks for having us out here, man. So what's some of the history of Old Joliet Prison?
Our history dates back to prior to even the Lincoln administration. 53 inmates came here, and they built the prison around themselves. They mined the local Joliet limestone and built this imposing 16-acre structure. It was designed to scare the hell out of people.
And how many inmates did they actually house here?
By 1878, it filled up with 2,000 prisoners. You had no running water in the cell houses until the late 1940s, so life here was virtually unimaginable.
Any riots or anything happen here?
We had full-scale riots, escapes, disturbances, fights.
Now, I know they carried out death sentences here.
We have records of 13 executions just feet from where we're standing now. Right above us, actually, was death row.
There was a gentleman named Henry Williams. He was being punished by some form of water torture.
You were taken to a cold water bath and dunked repeatedly. Mr. Williams, in the course of that torture, he was killed. Another prisoner, Gus Reed, was lashed to his cell and he was whipped to death while screaming his own name.
This prison has seen some strife.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So you also mentioned there's been some violent activity recently.
One of our tour guides actually reported that he had his arms scratched to the point where he could visibly see marks on his arms.
Jeez, okay.
I actually had a hand brush across my thigh. If somebody were to pass a note or contraband, that is the way they would have done it, underneath the table across someone's lap. I was terrified.
We've had reports of a towering figure in a blue jumpsuit.
There was a gentleman standing inside the old hospital building right behind the iron gates, which were locked. Bluish style jumpsuit, roughly 7 foot, 7'1". Searched the entire hospital. Nobody in there. I come walking back down the rear fire stairs, and he's standing by the front gate that I have locked, facing away from me. And he vanished right in front of my eyes.
The apparition in the blue jumpsuit is seen in numerous locations throughout the prison.
What are some of the other claims?
So we've had reports of shadow figures throughout the cell houses.
In cells 225 and 226 in the West Cell House, there are shadows that feels like something does not want you in there, and it feels aggressive and angry.
One time, we had everything from serial killers to mass murderers, evil people. Worst of the worst came here one time. They never left.
I was in the east cell block, and we all heard some keys. We saw a little point of light, kind of like somebody was walking, holding a flashlight. A large, dark shadow walked clearly across the path. I had no choice but to run.
So what are you hoping that we're able to accomplish for you here?
We're open to tours. We want to make sure guests are safe to explore here. We want to make sure that, we're respectful of the site and its history and of souls that may not have fully departed here yet.
All right, I think from here, we're gonna go talk to the rest of the crew and start figuring out how to set up equipment and go from there. Jay and Steve heading into the hospital.
This is where they've seen that tall man in a blue jumpsuit.
Ooh, Jay. I mean, when you come to a haunted prison, this is pretty much exactly what you think of.
It really is. Hello? What is that? That sounds like a voice going, oh. You heard that, right?
I did. It's weird. Ooh,
Yeah.
down there, you're hearing it too.
Yep. But
Oh, my.
nothing's showing up on the thermal.
Shari and Dave walking into the West Wing. This is where they've seen apparitions of guards.
Is there anybody in here with us?
If there's anybody here, whether you're a guard or an actual prisoner, you know you can leave now, right? So they've seen a lot of shadows in these two particular cells here, 225 and 226.
All right, so here's a REM pod. Okay, if you go near it, it's just gonna make noises like this. I'm gonna leave a bottle of alcohol and a cigarette. All right, it's all yours.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, that was loud.
Almost like a footstep.
EMF, 0.1, 0.2.
That was a voice.
Yeah,
That was a
female.
voice.
It sounded female, didn't it?
Oh. And there was just something there.
Really?
There was just a figure at the end of the hall.
Oh my gosh.
100% figure at the end of the hall. And it's not us. I mean, I got you right there. There's nothing there. Yep, 100% figure at the end of the hall.
Hello. We think we may have seen you. Walking.
There was just like a lady's voice right before it, like,
That would be twice we've heard